It's funny when feminists deny and make fun of age gap relationships where older men date and marry younger women. You see, the reason this infuriates women is because they know as they age, their chances of possibly being with a man of wealth and status start to decrease. That's just a universal law of nature. Of course, you have your outliers. But even the men who do marry women of their age always have this doubt in their minds if they could have done better. You know I'm right on this. Men and women have nothing in common, so age is nothing but a number. Flirting, teasing, and good humor don't require shared interests or perspectives. This is how you can find yourself attracted to people you have nothing in common with, and why the idea that men and women need shared interests to be attracted to each other is false and a lie. This is how liberal women, who are into dorky horoscopes, reality TV shows, and lowbrow gossip, can be attracted to authoritarian market-watching philosophy chads, and why older men prefer younger women. Once men reach a certain age, they realize, other than the superficial coming-of-age pop culture references they grew up with together, that women don't have much in common with them because they don't really mature, they just get older. So, if a woman is going to be petulant, unreasonable, and prone to histrionics regardless of if she's not going to share his hobbies, then she may as well be younger, prettier, and capable of bearing many children. And if she's an outlier who isn't prone to irrationality, then she will likely be those things when she is younger. This is because they will be a byproduct of her upbringing, rather than the accruements of her age. The idea men and women need to be approximately age equivalent to have anything in common is thus a feminist way of showcasing their resentment toward men. It is disinformation. It is fake news. This is why it's amusing to me when I hear a low-consciousness man ask, how can anyone date a 21-year-old? Because how can an older guy have anything in common with her, as if to suggest that he has something in common with a 40-year-old woman? No, sir. You have nothing in common with either of them. And this is to say nothing of the accumulated damage and resentment a woman picks up as she ages without having found an adequate mate. Many women unfortunately become excessively damaged very young these days, but generally speaking, the younger she is, the less damaged and more pleasant she is. Most men and women have very little in common beyond shared interests in the upbringing of their children and intimacy. Women are conspicuously absent from most male hobbies, which is why the ones who sincerely enjoy them, and aren't just infiltrating them for the heightened low-competition attention that comes from a skewed gender ratio, are generally more liked by men. This is because they have a common interest to bond over, which is more the exception rather than the rule. Just to hammer the nail home, authoritarian philosophy chads have far more in common with a high IQ 21-year-old woman who reads Nietzsche than an age-equivalent woman who doesn't like philosophy and thinks that it's meaningless or dull. Outlier women will always be more attractive to men in general, regardless of age, because they share some of their interests, unlike most women who don't. So, for the majority who by definition are not outliers, shared interests are a non-factor and not even necessary for the formation and preservation of family. Shared values are, but you don't need to like the same things as one another to agree on your gender roles and perform them well. As per the understanding of many social psychologists and commentators, like the one this message originally came from, it's a psyop that Americans especially have fallen for. The idea that interests must be shared. Interests are fleeting and do not serve any purpose other than entertainment. It is so easy to promote in a society that so staunchly promotes liberalism, turning the desires of your heart into a deity to be worshipped. The only thing a man needs to have in common with women is deeply held values and beliefs. Things like preferred education and discipline methods for children, religious leaning, views on relationships with family, etc. This ensures that in times of dispute they have the same reference point to go to. Without these common values, disputes are more prone to staying unresolved. Many end up agreeing to disagree with someone they have to live the rest of their lives with, as they cannot even agree on a reference point that is outside of themselves. They will see the results of this disagreement rear its head again and again, which grows resentment. It is rare for these people to have the same aspirations, as they do not even have the same roots, just some similar leaves. And that is a very weak foundation indeed. And indeed, when I think about it, I have all reason and all right to hit on 18-25-year-old women as a nearly 40-year-old man. Indeed, I have nothing in common with a 35-year-old woman. A malleable young woman would be more likely to have something in common with me. And another thing, I've had few relationships, like most men, compared to most older women who have tons of them in their past, and use that experience not to facilitate friction in a relationship, but to learn how to manipulate and pressure and threaten and blackmail a man into doing what she wants. I'd have used the experience to facilitate and improve interaction. So, one thing I'd have in common with a younger woman is that we'd have the same level of experience in relationships. I can never have that with an older woman. Of course, fertility is also an important factor. I want more kids. It's not my fault, but society's fault I married, and later had to divorce a witch. Indeed, I fell for the feminist brainwashing that I shouldn't seek virgins or younger women, even when I was young myself. But really, I don't see anything but a virgin as a possible option for a future relationship. I've missed out on the young, innocent love that everyone should deserve in a lifetime. Screw those who would demonize me for hitting on anyone 18, 25. I've contributed more to society than most men, and in terms of experience, that's the woman who'll match me the most. The number of previous relationships and partners is a better measure of being on the same level as age. If you are a high-earning man, you will deal with a lot of career-related stress that a woman will have no concept of. You are trying to make things happen while she is sleeping in until 2 p.m., takes Instagram and TikTok selfies for 2 hours, and then expects you to chauffeur her around to expensive restaurants. The maturity differences and entitlement of young women who have done nothing in life but exist are not necessarily a win. So it doesn't make sense when women these days get furious when men date younger women. I think it's true about older men and options for women. I think it's an older guy's confidence and capabilities that turn them on. However, the thing that shocks me is the lack of manners and basic respect for younger women. They are crass. Most of the time, if I engage with one of those women, they can't handle getting checked for being rude and ungrateful. They are just not equipped to process a man setting boundaries and standards. For women, the most damage done to them is caused by themselves. They want to be independent, and they rejected all of the men who wanted to date them once because of it. And now they're sour about the choices they made themselves. Most men just want to live a peaceful life. I guess those women finally show their insecurities, which they buried a long time ago. What is crazy is, when these high-value women talking about why they deserve a perfect guy, they only talked about their good jobs, their financial independence, their looks, what they bring to the table, etc. And none of them said I can be a great mother, I can be compassionate, loving, supportive, and I will build a great house/future with my partner. What I hate the most is that men are supposed to achieve success in life, but when women do it, they are independent, confident, and successful. A man may earn 100K a year, but it's okay because he's supposed to. But when a woman earns 100K, she's strong and successful. Making money takes time. Only some women do not consider dating a poor man with goals, but would rather wait until he becomes rich. Then, they have the audacity to approach you when you are successful, and act as if they are your best choice. One huge difference between many men and women is that women feel the need to tell everyone about their accomplishments. When I used to date women, it would be in my thought, is this all you have? You don't sound supportive or genuinely caring. It felt like a job interview, not an enjoyable evening. Genuinely, age gaps relationships will always make more sense to men, and will always infuriate women because the older they get, the lesser their chances are of settling down with a financially solid man, someone these women can cling on to for better socioeconomic status. That's the reality, and always has been. Thanks for watching Man Reacts. Show us your love and support by liking this video, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing to the channel.